Father Almighty, Creator of saints and martyrs, may we be like Martin de Porres, devoted, who cared, with a love of creation and ours in prayer. He sought racial harmony, and so should we, performed many miracles, helped with poverty. Martin made orphanages, giving kids homes. May we be like Martin wherever we roam. Then there's Oscar Romero of El Salvador, not just an archbishop, but so much more. He fought for human rights and wrote presidents' letters. He's a modern saint who made our world better. May we be like Oscar and stand against abuse. May we strive for sainthood, both me and you. Let's learn from Dorothy, who made her voice heard. She was for women's suffrage, and it showed in her work. Through her advocation, she denounced nuclear arms. God, keep our rights safe and protect us from harm. May we be like Dorothy Day, a servant of God. Help us to share our beliefs both near and abroad. Cesar Chavez also helped work for rights. He did lots of service and organized strikes. May we be like Cesar Chavez, nonviolent and civil. Dear Lord, help us with struggles, both big and the little. Allow us to encapsulate all that saints are, guide us and love us, and we'll go so far. In the history of the Catholic Church, we've had many figures who saw injustices and took action. Today, your company will be exposed to one of those four leaders.
Pienso de que sí, ya es un gran, se siente bien estar en este país y que ya en esta edad de mi vida se dé esa oportunidad de que por fin Monseñor Romero ya sea beatificado.
I saw him in such a deep prayer that I said to myself in that moment, this man, I have to follow this man because he's following God.
Romero has become the Salvador personality of the century.
Para mí el hecho de que el Papa haya decidido hacer esto, de poder de nombrar mártir a Monseñor Romero, pronto beatificarlo, es una noticia muy buena, porque es una noticia que nos motiva a los jóvenes.
Fue el pasado, nos marcó bastante a todos los salvadoreños y él fue como la voz de todos.
He is San Romero de América, Holy Romero of America.
God, you are everything and I am nothing. But with your everything and my nothing, we are going to do so much.
Oscar Romero was appointed Archbishop to San Salvador in February of 1977. At the time of his appointment, many people in the church feared that he would change the kind of way that the church had been supporting the poor and the oppressed. Just a few weeks after his appointment as Archbishop, one of his greatest friends, Father Rutilio Grande, was brutally murdered as he was driving along the road to visit one of his outlying chapels. Almost overnight, it seemed that a transformation took place within the Archbishop, within Oscar Romero. The rich people who had celebrated his election as Archbishop began to see him as someone who might start to challenge their interests.
For him, human rights were divine rights also, because, as you know, man has been created in similar way that God.
Romero was in favor of change in El Salvador, for justice.
Que Monseñor Romero, teniéndolo todo, él decidió ayudar a los pobres.
When he was visiting the parishes in the outskirts of El Salvador, the poor neighborhoods, people were terribly aware of the fact that the real church was with them.
One of the things that CAFOD was able to do with Archbishop Romero was to ensure that his voice could be heard. He made radio broadcasts, his sermons every Sunday. His enemies, amongst the wealthy and the powerful, dynamited his radio station. Cafford was able to be there to lend a helping hand to rebuild that, to make sure that his voice was heard.
Cafford became enormously interested, in Monsignor Romero.
Somebody said to him, Bishop, when are you going to finish this fight with the government? And Bishop Romero said, I don't have any fight with the government. The people have a fight with the government, and I am beside the people.
He was afraid, and he feared for his life, his own life.
On the evening of Monday, the 24th of March in 1980, Archbishop Romero was celebrating Mass in the chapel of the Hospital of Divine Providence, where he lived. He must have noticed a car drawing up at the door of the church. A marksman came out of the car and took aim and fired directly at the Archbishop.
After the shooting of Bishop Romero, for me was terrible, for so many persons was terrible. And the poor people said, who is going to defend us now? The situation was getting worse and worse until the Civil War started 1 year later.
Y él sabía de que lo iban a matar por sus decisiones. No le importó y apoyó a los pobres hasta el último día de su vida.
It took more than 20 years for the process of beatification to reach the point where Pope Francis declared that Archbishop Romero was indeed a martyr, and as such that his beatification would follow soon.
El Salvador and the whole of Central America and the whole of Latin America have been waiting for this event for 35 years already.
Entonces, ¿quién es para mí Monseñor Romero y lo que ha formado el Papa en esos últimos días?
Archbishop Romero died for justice. He died because he was a man who spoke the truth and he defended the poor.
He was a saint, he was a man of God, he was a man of the church, and a man for the poor people.
We're going to give you about 10 minutes right now to really think about one area of the world that you would like to see improved. On the piece of paper you received, take time to write about that thing. What is it and why does it matter to you? Then take some time to think about one small action you could take in the next 40 days to impact that problem in a positive way. Remember, you aren't trying to solve the problem, you're just trying to make things a little bit better, because every small step counts. Once you have made your choice, write it down and make a pledge to yourself on that same piece of paper.
Finally, you're being given a token in the shape of a picket sign as a symbol for Dorothy Day for a call to action, or whoever your person is. On that token, write one word that will serve as a reminder to your call to action that you just pledged to do for the next 40 days. When you finish your letter and your token, you can take them out to the hallway to place them inside the artwork we created in Dorothy, or the leader of your choice's, memory. These pieces will remain up over the course of Lent to serve as a reminder to our call to action and to work towards fixing the wrongs in our world.